Hello, hello. Josie here. Are you ready for the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? And are you sure? Okay. Ego. Ego. I've talked about this before, but I'm going to branch off into another topic that's associated with it. Um, your knowledge, your skill, your talent, your gift, it can your charisma, your charm, and it's nothing fabricated. You're not copying, you're not fabricating, you're just being your authentic self. All of that can really piss off a lot of people. People that you don't even know. People that you are related to, are not related to, people that are your friends, loved ones, schoolmates, so on and so forth. That can irritate another person, them seeing all those qualities within you. And if that person has a big ego, if that person's arrogant, not confident, arrogant, if that person is arrogant, if they think it should all be about them, they should be the one that has this or looks this way in front of other people, they're the one, yada yada yada. They will do anything they can to try to sabotage you. They will do anything they can to sabotage you so that their ego does not get scarred. We're not talking about bruised, scarred, torn. I was speaking with this gentleman and I shared some things with him, some truths, you know? But in sharing these things with him, it really just reminded me like, I did not do anything except be myself, and that was enough to irritate this person to go to great lengths to get rid of me, because if I shined, if I looked better than him, he couldn't have that. And the other thing too is people with egos, they see another person and they know it's not fake, they know it's not a mask like they wear, like they are, and that's a threat. They see it as a threat. They see it as a threat. And so they will go to extremes to get rid of someone that they believe and feel is a threat, even though it's not in a negative way, it's in a positive way. But that would hurt and bruise and scar their ego. Right now, there's a conference going on, and I was heading up to my room last night, and while I'm getting ready, this flood of people come into the hotel, and I'm like, what the F? I don't like crowds. I don't like being around a lot of people. That's a lot of energy. That's a lot of good or positive as well as negative energy. Then you have all those people. If they have an ego and they're seeing somebody else's light, they're going to have a problem. They're going to throw shade. I see it. I read it. And even if I'm being respectful or being polite or saying hello, even though I don't like being around a lot of people, I can still read people's energy. It's obvious to me. So I have to keep my chill, keep my cool around a whole lot of different energies and vibes. And there are some people that are cool or chill, but there are other people that are not. And you have a combination of people, that know each other, that they have to basically keep a front so that they're not angering or upsetting another person because they see it in that person as well too. So if they speak, if they're pleasant, if they make eye contact, if they have a conversation with someone that they see as a threat, and I'm talking about just a conference that's here. I don't know these people, but I can feel people's energies. I can read them. And I could see the reactions of some of these individuals. It was so obvious to me. I was waiting for the elevator. I was one of the first people over there, or a group where I could have gotten on the elevator with one group, right? I didn't want to get on the elevator. I did not want to get on the elevator. I held back for a couple of groups to go until I felt comfortable to be around the few individuals that were on the elevator with me. And when I tell you, I didn't like it as far as just me being comfortable, because not saying that the energy was bad, I don't like being around all those energies. So you have individuals that are trying to keep chill, keep cool, other people that might want to speak or say hello or say something or just have a conversation, but they just don't know. They just don't know. You have individuals that are irritated by your light. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, okay. This has nothing to do with me being arrogant or me being braggy or whatever. No, this has been happening since I was a toddler, and I had family that were irritated by my light, and they did some of the most toxic things against me at that young of an age. And growing up within that family, within that household, your head would fucking spin. So I read it, I notice it. So with chosen individuals, those with the light, those with it's not hard for us, but it can be difficult working in an environment, even a corporate environment, where there's a lot of the crabs in the barrel mentality, or in retail and you have other stores and it's a crabs in a barrel mentality, and you're a light and people come to you because you're in a way a source of information, of knowledge. You're a help to other people. I've had people come to my storefront because they had a sale, right? They had a client, right? And the client backed down and they were in tears. And they were just like, why is this happening? Why, blah, blah, blah. And because I've been in business and I've had a small business and I have experience, they came to me in tears to get information from me as far as how they're supposed to handle it. That's just one example. And the person that came to me was someone that was trying to compete. They were trying to copy off of me what I do, what I was doing. But I was in a position where I was an aid to other individuals that were novice as well as advanced. And I was tested by a lot of these people. And they wanted to feel as if they were smarter than me or that they knew more than me. And they came to me with this petty fucking competition because they also saw the light. And it irritated them, it bothered them, but they also respected me. But they had to find some reason, something to have above me or against me in competition. They would set the shit up intentionally. people coming into the storefront to ask specific questions, a specific round of questions to get information from me, and then go back and learn this and come back and ask more questions in regard to, just trying to trip me up. You've heard that show on VH1 is called Stump the Trump? Stump the Trunk? Eddie Trunk was his name, and he had a wealth of knowledge about bands and albums and songs and heavy metal stuff, right? And people would actually try to stump the trunk. Same thing, except in my situation, people were going to extremes to manipulate and set up so that it would make me look bad, and they felt like they had one up against someone because it just boosted their fucking ego. So imagine someone that is in a position of power above you that is threatened by your talent, your knowledge, your ability, and they don't even bring you up the ladder after you give them information that basically they're using to propel and excel the company that you're working for. And then the manager that they placed over you, who's basically a kissy ass, who's also arrogant and cocky, they want to subject you to a lot of different toxic treatment because they're threatened by you as well too, because they know that you should have their position. And if you're seen, if you're noticed, if you're respected, especially by those in higher positions, even by customers or other managers that came to you for information as well too, because they realize that you're a wealth of knowledge, they're going to do everything they can because that's going to bruise and scar their ego and make them look inferior in their position. See, I'm not new to this. I've experienced this in another community. And in talking with this gentleman, I had to pause for a brief moment and basically let him know this is like the third time I've had to just basically start over because of somebody else's ego and insecurities and inability to allow other people to shine and do what they do. Yeah. And that's fucked up to me. That's really messed up. I'm gonna leave you with this reference. A movie that I would suggest you watch to just kind of get a basis for what I'm talking about, as well as one extreme way that a person can go about sabotaging someone that has done nothing to them except be themselves and do their thing. Disclosure with Demi Moore and Michael Douglas. That was a messed up movie in the way of business and hierarchy and being passed over for a position for somebody else who God only knows what they did, who they sabotaged to get that position, and how that person can go to great lengths to sabotage someone else that they know should be in the position that they're in, because they don't want them to be not only in the position that they're currently in, but any other position that would make them equivalent and or more than, better than them. I'm also going to share this at the end of the movie, if you have not seen it, if you're not going to watch it. The individual that was causing all the mess and all the drama, setting up the stage, setting up the scene to make another associate look to be incompetent in the eyes of other individuals that they worked with, as well as the senior partners and those that were coming to acquire the business and or coming on to the business, she got fired. And even when she was getting fired, right? She went to the same person that she sabotaged and set up and basically said, I have headhunters calling me, offering me positions at some of the top companies. She had no regret, no remorse for what she did against her colleague. None. Which means she was going to go to another environment, another company, and do the same thing again, possibly. And she was so arrogant. Her ego was so bold. She even said and stated, and I might have the wording wrong here, but you can't handle the fact that I beat you. I beat you. She was in competition with him, and he was not even aware that he was a part of the competition, that he was being competed against, and that he was being set up. It was all one-sided. You have individuals that where it's all one-sided. It's their ego. It's their ego. Anybody that is a threat to their ego, they feel like they have to eliminate. And they have to also discredit, disparage, and ruin that person's reputation with any and everybody that sees them as a positive example in the light that they are. This happens in businesses, companies, corporations, your everyday sales jobs, sales positions, customer service. This happens with your neighbors. This happens in your family units. This happens all across the board. The thing is, how does one go about living in this world, being successful, thriving, when you're dealing with toxic, manipulative, narcissistic individuals? Until next time.